Hello there, it's Qckslvrslash, and today we join Anarchy 99 in the Tier 7 Japanese destroyer, the Akatsuki. And this was one of the two destroyers added in to fill out as the line split, and I quite liked her. The 3 triple-barreled torpedo tubes and 6 gun barrels makes her a fairly flexible ship. And more I find myself enjoying the destroyers that can do a bit of everything. You know, it's fun to hop into a gunboat, but if it doesn't have torpedoes, you miss out on so many situations. And then the opposite is true if all you've really got going for you is some amazing torpedoes. So, you know, these ships that can do a little more of everything, and then obviously the higher tier destroyers, because by the high tier they can do a little of everything, I've really been finding myself enjoying. Now, Anarchy 99 has almost done the opposite of what I'd expect most destroyers to do on this map. Neighbors is notorious for destroyers basically going into Charlie, and the odd one may venture into Bravo, but it's pretty rare to see one come all the way down to Alpha. It happens, but it's not what you see the most. And the one thing you will notice is Anarchy is running RPF, which gives them an indication of the general direction of the nearest enemy ship. Very useful in a destroyer. You know, there's situations where it can be. In this case, it's pretty obvious where the enemy team is. They only just spawned. And, oh, almost overcooked a turn there. I'm gonna run aground on the shore break, but fret not. None of the enemies are close enough, and with a 6.4 kilometer detection radius, he's got a big advantage over this enemy Bliss. And really it's just that Kagero and Akatsuki that could potentially pose a threat. But they've been both spotted over in Bravo, which means Anarchy is going to always detect that Bliss before it detects Anarchy, and that's a huge advantage to have. The other thing I find somewhat interesting is how much of this enemy team has come to Alpha. That's a bit of an oddity as well. Once again, normally you see a couple ships come down here. It's pretty rare to see the bulk of a team. And I think part of the reason is, as Anarchy picks up a first kill with that first volley of torpedoes, if you end up down here south of A as a team, it becomes very hard to push out into B or Charlie. Whereas if you've got yourself in Charlie, there's cover to work your way out and around. And I think that's a big reason you don't often see large groups come down here, is it puts you out of the fight. Now, Anarchy really can just have their way here. It's a lot of battleships, and other than that Bliss, which hasn't been spotted in a while, there's nothing to really detect and spot. Only downside, there is a giant chunk of the land right in the way of where Anarchy would be needing to lead those torpedoes. So kicks it into reverse and starts backing up, just using that lead indicator, and you can guarantee you're gonna chuck a whole bunch of torpedoes right at the edge of the land. And with 2-3 ships in tight formation there, all within torpedo range, spreading them out a bit here is a good idea. Anarchy does just that, makes a nice big wave, and that's when they get detected. It's clearly not the Błyskawice or the Tirpitz, which means the Kagero is somewhere in range. There it is, momentarily detected. But Anarchy's got smoke, pops it up, and is just gonna wait this one out. Meanwhile, this Bismarck probably got in a little over their head. Came charging in, really only the support of one destroyer. Not enough. Once again, you know, a common theme for the last while is battleships overplaying their position to the point that they don't have any friendly support. The Scharnhorst turned off, the Belfast is sitting behind land. But the Bismarck kept pushing forward into a fleet of enemy ships, lost a lot of health for it. Fortunately, Anarchy did their job, got a number of torpedoes into that Tirpitz, and with this fire, that basically means the Tirpitz is dead. The tick of the fire getting the last damage and the kill. So now Anarchy's up to 2 kills, just under 60,000 damage, and has a little bit of time remaining in this smoke. One thing definitely needs to be wary of is somewhere just outside here could be a Kagero. Unfortunately, there is a Colorado who's getting in close. 99% sure it was the Colorado targeted there, and all Anarchy can really do right now is get out of dodge, hit that speed boost, and start moving. And that's what happens. Turns straight away from the one ship detecting them, and well, torpedoes are gonna help deal with that. 4 more torps, enough to take out that enemy Colorado and pick up a 3rd kill and bring the damage total up to nearly 100,000 health. But now A is being captured, and the question becomes, do you go back for it, do you not? They've got a good point lead, almost, well, just over 300 points. They're up 1 kill, so, you know, if a kill flips back, it's not as strong a lead, but it's still there. They've already got a Cap and B, and they're taking Charlie. This is a situation where I would probably just let A be. Does fire at the last moment at that Bliss as he goes around the corner. Unfortunately, all the shells miss, and Anarchy's now given up their position. I get what he was doing. He was going to use that edge of land to get a volley off that can't be returned, and that'd be fine if it was only Bliskovica, but that Mutsu was there, there was a Pensacola. It was a risky move, potentially a lot of damage could have come that way, and if you're going to do it, you gotta make sure you hit, and it wasn't really a situation that I felt warranted a shot. But it doesn't matter, because no damage was taken, and the friendlies have 2 caps. The kill gap continues to open a little bit, and well, that's going to change when that friendly Belfast sinks, but there is an enemy New Mexico here. Now, unfortunately, they are sailing away, which means the torpedoes are never going to hit that New Mex, but Pensacola, Bliskovica, they're definite options here. And realistically, what I'd expect this Pensacola to do is probably turn in and try to get some hard cover behind this land, because that Scharnhorst is pressing down hard. And there's the enemy Bliss. Pensacola turns, and oh my god, look at that, he eats a huge chunk of damage. The torps are off. At this point, you're kind of just luck chucking. Is the Pensacola going to turn away? Is the Bliss maybe going to turn towards you? It doesn't really matter, you've got them loaded. Throw them out there, it keeps those ships pinned in there. And the longer they're pinned down, the longer the rest of their team is kind of stuck alone, unable to fight superior numbers. And you can just see, one by one, those enemy ships up in the north are melting. They do take 1 back, but that Grafspee is all but done as well. It's got 3 ships breathing down its neck, and this could be a double strike. One set of torpedoes looking really good on that Pensacola, the other looking good on the Bliss. Only 2 hit. They get the kill on the Pensa. There it is. Sadly, no double strike, but you know that Bliskovica is feeling it now. 2,000 hit points, and are they going to run aground? They do. Gets the guns over. 1 volley as the Bliss vanishes. Will it be enough? It is. It picks up the Kraken up to just shy of 112,000 damage. The 5th kill. And, well, now Anarchy is going to be able to sail in and take Alpha. There's also a very juicy target in that New Mexico sailing straight for Bravo, and I would probably pin down my speed boost here, and I would try to get as close to this edge of land and that smoke that Bliss so kindly left behind to just torp the crap out of this New Mex. And you kind of know that's what's coming. Torpedoes are selected, the tubes are loaded, fish are away, and this is once again a situation I like what Anarchy's doing. It's spreading them out a bit. You know, the New Mexico has incoming fire from a Belfast who somehow has just managed to survive through this battle, and that's making the New Mexico turn back and forth. Well, if they're turning back and forth, they're not sailing in a straight line, which means spreading your torpedoes out is a safe bet. And it looks like the New Mexico has seen the torpedoes, turning between them. There is a fire going. There's a flood. Fire goes out. We know they've burned their damage control. There it is. And only 20 seconds now, and the next set of torpedoes is ready. And you know this New Mexico is just going to be crying when the next wave comes. And that really can be the crappy thing about dealing with a destroyer. Like, what's the New Mexico to do here? They got themselves in a position they really can't get out of. I really feel one of the only options might be, you know, charge the smoke. And it looks like that's what they do, because Anarchy 99 gets detected, but throws all the torpedoes down one line, and that was a misplay in my mind. He had a New Mex on very low health, spread them out a lot. It's not going to take him much to sink her. You can see even the fires and just gunshots chipping away at her health. Anarchy should get away here. New Mexico's not looking in the right spot. The fire gonna be enough to finish her off. It is, sadly, it's the Belfast fire, so Anarchy's still stuck at 5 kills, but there's the enemy Kagero, and she sailed straight into the wreck of her ally. Dancing around a bit for me, but looks like no problem for Anarchy. Lands a couple really solid hits, gets a fire going. The engines are down, maybe, or is that the fire? I think that's the engines too. 1 or 2 more volleys, all it's going to take here. Can Anarchy finish this Kagero off? Because the Kagero gets Anarchy, they kill one another, and the game is over. And what a match. 455,000 credits, just shy of 6,700 XP, Confederate, Devastating Strike, First Blood, Kraken Unleashed, High Caliber, just short of the 150,000 damage mark at 148,617, 6 kills, 14 torpedoes, and really just spent the whole time defending a cap from the bulk of the enemy team. Now, Anarchy did have help in the form of a couple battleships and a cruiser, and it just goes to show you what a small group of ships can do to the enemy team if you kind of approach them right, and it would have gone better had that Bismarck lasted longer. No surprise, top of the team here, 2875 base experience. When you get kills and damage, you wind up atop the leaderboard with a lot of experience, and you can see where the Bismarck wound up, and that's just what happens. As far as the damage spread, a pretty decent amount to a number of ships. I'd say one of the more important chunks is to that Tirpitz. The Tirpitz is a very dangerous ship, and getting that many torpedoes into it when Anarchy did really offset the damage that his friendly Bismarck took and kind of kept them even with the enemy team. As far as final tallies go, 312,000 credits coming home and just shy of 6,700 experience. Thank you, Anarchy 99, for sending this one in. I really enjoyed watching it. Sorry it took so long to get it. I hope everyone else enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'm Qckslvrslash, and I'll have another one for you all later.